Hello and welcome to New Meta episode 58. Bit of follow-up from last week, bit of battle-maiden, bit of Dark Willow mid. Marco, welcome to Ep 58, how are you?
Hello. Doing well, thank you.
Been up to much in the week since we last heard your voice?
Probably not that much.
Yeah, just living life.
Living life, I don't know how deep you want me to go. Should just have like a psychiatrist session or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Well...
Mate, I won a Potem in random draft with a 5-man stack and I'm ranked. That was pretty good.
5-man? That I wasn't involved with? Feels bad.
Were you not there for my Potem?
I can't remember, was I there?
I
don't think so.
Yeah, you were Ogre, and we had games on Panga. That was the game where Games' Unimate was on Tinker and just went crazy.
Yeah, that was actually wild.
This guy's like Ancient 2 and played like Ortiz. He was like ranked 200 Tinker or something. It was crazy.
That was actually unbelievable. We told Adam about that game. It was literally an Ancient 2, right?
Yeah.
Ancient 2. Ancient 2 Tinker mid actually just solo won a game with like Immortals and was just blinking around, Dagon. It was like some Funkafowl joke.
It was like he was Funkafowl.
And then
it was funny because him and Games just didn't recognise this absolute monstrosity of game. They were both just so casual. And I was like, he's 21-19, this Tinker. Just like some random guy off the street. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a good time, actually. That was a funny game.
Yeah.
Also notable because I was playing Ogre. So
yeah. That was the game.
Notable.
Oh, that was the game Adam was messaged in WhatsApp being like, Mark Noble, I stand the Magic T on Ogre Magi, question mark kind of thing. Adam didn't believe when he saw the draft, but I think he pulled through. I think you used your spells.
Yeah, it was good. I had a moment on Ogre where I felt... I can't remember the situation, but I just respawned and... with my respawn, we had like a numbers advantage or they had key spells on cooldown. So I was like, I'm literally just going to fly in with a 4-staff, cast all my spells and die. Yeah. And it's going to force a fight that we then win. And then it happened perfectly. And I was like, sitting, like Mr. Burns style, like I created this. Yeah. Even in my death, it was like, wow, that's some top-notch support play. For me, at least. Because my normal...
Bulldog quote.
Exactly, yeah. So... great Ogre gameplay. Adam, your Crystal Maiden Ep 57 was so good that we're basically going to try and shamelessly recreate it with what we couldn't finish last time with the battle-maiden. So welcome to the pod and congrats on CM being New Meta's official favourite hero, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. All these closeted support fans.
Yeah.
Finally, just like one of us, right? They're just finally excited we talk about a hero that buys wards.
Yeah. Well, not today, of course, because we might be playing CM today, but we're not buying wards today because this is Battle Maiden territory.
That's right.
Yeah. But how have your games been in general last week?
So-so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've won one Crystal Maiden game since then, so I can still talk about the hero, I guess. Lost a Lich. I don't know how to play Lina. I should never play Lina. Regardless of position.
You're not able to jump on the POS 4 Lina free MMR bandwagon?
Yeah, not even with the Wraith King in my lane.
Feels bad. Win one, lose one?
No, just lost one with Lina.
Oh, right, yeah.
If you have a Wraith King with a CM or on your team, you would think they would cast Wraith Fire Blast, but no.
No, you can't cast spells that easily. Come on.
Yeah. You don't just simply cast spells before Immortal. Yeah, fair enough. I broke the cardinal rule of the podcast of don't play games on the same day that you're recording because you always lose. That's a curse that I'm well familiar with since we started recording these episodes. So I foolishly played a ranked game today. It's actually a really fun game that we kind of threw. We definitely should have won. I was playing Ember Spirit, which is quite fun because I haven't played Ember for a while. It felt really good. I was like top net worth, basically between 10 and 20 minutes, and then at 20 minutes, the game took a turn. Not necessarily for the worst just yet, but anyway, it's an interesting game. I was aiming against a Clinks mid, which I think is it's kind of fine. Like, my laning was fine. Like I said, after the laning stage, I did really well with, when you get 6 on Ember, it's just good times. So at that point, you can just fly around everywhere getting stuff done and sort of dominate the map between 10 and 20 minutes. But in the lane, you basically just got to ship a load of regen, and because you're going to take a lot of right clicks if you go up for CS. So you just need to do it smartly with regen and with Flame Guard, and you can actually output a lot of damage onto the Clinks with Flame Guard, and if you get Syrian Chains on it, you can man up. So anyway, but the thing that was interesting, I don't know what your opinions are on build, because I was an Ember Spirit, I had a PL on my team, like hard carry PL, but I was against a Clinks and a CK and a Clockwork. And when I skipped drums because I was really farmed, I just went Maelstrom. I went Maelstrom Yules, but I really wasn't sure what item to go at all, whether to go Radiance or not, because my team, you reckon, just go Radi because it's CK and Clinks.
Sounds nice against CK Clinks getting a Radiance.
The only thing with Radiance is that the thing that stopped me getting it was I can't. The way I have to play against a Clink CK is I can't just run in because I'll just get bursted instantly. I have to like sort of play around with like remnants, and so I didn't know if I was strong enough in just a straight up man fight to get value from Radiance, because the way I was playing a lot of the fights was like staying on the edge and just doing like slight chains and stuff, and I couldn't really get in there. So I actually ended up going Shiva's Guard after my Yules, because I thought Shiva's is just a really nice active, because obviously it stays with the hero when you do like slighter chains and stuff like that. So I just slight chains with a remnant with a Shiva's active, and it's good. And then it's really felt like it was good against CK, but I was like, oh, my PL will just win us the game. Hopefully, I don't need. And then I started going crit after that, Daedalus. But it was an interesting item decision.
It's interesting. CK on the enemy team has the 4th lowest hero damage. The enemy IO, enemy Clock, and enemy Clinks all have more hero damage than CK. So
Clock did so much work.
He's not the issue. Clinks did a hell of a lot. Arady would do work against that for the miss. And I think you're right that, you just skirmish around the edges and you can't get caught and bursted. Shiva's is nice though, but maybe it's too slow, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I think it's interesting because I skipped drums, but maybe drums would have been nice. It's hard to say because the time that I would have been using drum active, we were just crushing fights anyway between like 10 and 20 minutes. So maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say with
the Crystalist, maybe you don't need. I think
I got that right at the end. I was working towards Daedalus.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't bore the listeners too much with that game, but that was just a game that I played today on Ember, which was fun. Ember Spirit's S tier fun hero for those of you that missed our episode a couple of days ago. And other than that, extremely unusual situation for me of literally going sort of 50% win rate for an extended period of time. Usually I lose 10 games in a row or I win 10 games in a row sort of thing. So I've just been win-loss. So that's kind of interesting. No real news in the Dota-verse, is there particularly?
We're also waiting for the 2 heroes. When does fall happen? Gaben, please.
I know. Valve time. Feels bad. Still waiting for that Void Spirit. Yeah,
that's a point, isn't it? Yeah, the Halloween event. Is that a thing?
Give Frostivus.
Frostiv.
Do we have a sweepstake on which stack Sumail's going to end up in?
Yeah, I was going to mention Sumail. Imagine if he goes back to EG, that'd be funny.
How would that happen?
I mean, it won't happen. That's why it'd be funny.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Locked under contract. That's why I guess they couldn't figure out buyout terms with the Quincy crew or whatever.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic.
Wait, so where is he? Where do you think he's going at them?
I don't know. Has to be a team that can buy his contract. So there's no money in esports, so he's probably stuck.
New meta squad will buy him.
Wait, so he's under contract at Evil Geniuses, and Quincy Crew, they temporarily bought the contract, or?
Well, I guess he started playing with them, and they were probably negotiating terms and stuff, and they couldn't. I mean, that's all hearsay.
He's getting paid by EG, even though he's not on the roster? I
think so. He's kind of stashed right now, I think.
Wow, what an what a like weird life situation for Sumail when he's getting bankrolled by EG to sort of just play NA stacks when he wants, like pubs. It's not even playing. That's kind of bizarre.
Kind of good for EG because you don't have to play against him.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's the power play. That's the power play right there. Imagine if he went to China. Imagine if he just joined a Chinese stack. That's the only Dota scene I can think of where an org might be able to buy his contract. I can't see.
Could he go to Secret? Kick mid one? Get into stack?
I don't think that's happening.
Where can he go? There's all the stacks are filled.
Old Liquid cannot have Weehaw.
Why not?
I mean, if you want to replace Weehaw with Sumail.
Yeah, I feel like that could happen, right? I don't think Sumail would want to play with MC because they're boring, right? But they have the TI money.
I think they'd rather have Weehaw than Sumail, surely. But
probably can control Wee more than you can control Sumail in terms of personality.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. Marco's, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Stan flaming, what's going on?
Well, no, I'm not flaming. I want to say that they want Weehaw because he's better than Sumail, just to trigger you, just to see what you say. But anyway.
Sumail's a solid fucking girl.
Yeah, a washed up player. Yeah. battle-maiden didn't get time for it last episode with an hour and a half of CM talk, which is quite remarkable, to be honest. I don't know if anyone's put together that kind of catalogue, apart from New Meta, of course. So, Adam, you've been playing a bunch of battle-maiden. I don't know where you want to start with battle-maiden, what you think the first thing to say is, or just what makes the hero fun, or whatever, how it works in principle. Because a lot of people won't really have any idea how a core maiden is meant to approach a game.
I don't know if I kind of consider a battle-maiden just a certain build. Like you could even do it as a support.
Oh, okay.
With basically with phase boots and bracers, and then the health talent.
So you're saying a support battle-maiden is simply one of those donkeys that get hit with sweets that fall out, just throw her into battle, and she doesn't actually do anything, just get hit.
What? No. She still casts your spells.
Okay, I thought, isn't battle-maiden like you're the queen of the map slaying everyone with either spells or right?
Oh, I think it's just someone that can just
void
tankier than what you would imagine. I mean, you would always kind of just feel like Crystal Maiden get 2-shot by somebody or take one nuke to the face and that's it. But if you build, it's just kind of like an off meta thing. Like everyone, kind of how everyone used to skill Frostbite first. Everyone just, buys Tranquil Boots without thinking on Crystal Maiden. It's like, well, Phase Boots is probably better right now. I've been building Phase Boots on Support Maiden now.
Yeah.
You've missold me and Stan the idea of battle-maiden. We were expecting you to shout Blink Maelstrom.
I'm in. This is a new turn. I've seen Core Maiden, but I haven't seen Battle Maiden. I'm ready for some spice.
Well, that's mid. I mean, Mid Maiden can still do that, but
yeah,
I guess with Phase Boots right now, Phase Boots and a Windlace gives you the same move speed as Tranquil Boots when your Phase Boots is active, but it also gives you a little bit of right-click damage, and then 4 armor, which is huge for a hero that does not have a whole lot of armor.
Is it not 5 armor?
It got nerfed.
It got nerfed? Fuck.
Yeah.
Would you ever suggest someone doesn't go Battle Maiden? To me,
from a support position, what is it that's making you go down the Battle Maiden route versus the standard route?
Yeah.
I just am kind of poor as a Crystal Maiden, so it's about just getting value out of what few slots that have items and make you a little bit. It's like really hard to save up 1,400 gold for a Shadow Amulet that goes in the Glimmer Cape or something like that. But you can spend 525 on a Bracer and try and survive that way. Your Phase Boots help with that too.
Yeah, I can already see a clash of ideology happening here because I know obviously getting braces on support is like quite a common thing these days. It's getting 1-2 braces. You'll often see that for the reasons that Adam just outlined. And there's definitely a ton of value in that for sure. And then on the other side, I've got Marker always shouting at me to get like brown boots, magic stick, and then get a 4-star like after that. And that's save up for a 4-star.
Save me.
I suppose, yeah, from the core maiden perspective, I don't know if you want to expand a bit, I suppose, on how you're...
yeah, so I guess if we want to just... There's the, I guess, battle maiden, the survivable maiden, but then there's also core battle maiden, which is
what we all came for.
And that's just, I mean, you still go phase boots. I kind of like Midas on her if you can get it at a reasonable time, because the faster you get a Midas, the faster you can get level 15 and then get the gold talent and kind of keep up with cores. Or you can just try and get kills on the map. I saw a Sumail Crystal Maiden mid, and he got like early boots of travel. That was kind of cool because you could just like TP all over the map and just get kills. But mid maiden, I guess you can go 2 different ways, right? You can go right click build and try and get to level 20 and get that 250 attack speed talent, or you could go ult focused, like your Blink BKB focus, Aghanims.
Rain of Ice Maiden.
Yeah, rain of, yeah, there we go. Callback. Rain of Ice Maiden. And that kind of just depends on the game, because it's a long time to get the level 20 on a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
But then she does pep pretty hard if you can get there, especially with something like a Maelstrom, because you attack so fast, you're like proccing at least every twice a second or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned talents a lot there. Would you say when you're playing core maiden that XP is of paramount importance? Like you really want to be spam right clicking tome at sort of 9:59 and stuff, and 19:59 to make sure you're getting the tomes, make sure you're getting your XP top priority, and then sort of emerging at level 20 if you're going right click, or whatever, emerging at level 15 to get more involved then? Or do you think, given that the spells are so strong, like we talked about, are you just flying around trying to make stuff happen on the map?
I think you definitely want to be using your spells and getting around the map and getting kills. That's a really good way of getting XP. It's kind of, it feels a bit of a waste to just AFK farm a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
You want to definitely be moving around and nuking things, because kills are what give XP nowadays, not creeps.
Yeah, it's like lane creeps and kills, but yeah, kills certainly. Neutrals give so little XP and really so little anything particularly, but yeah, certainly. Especially when you've got that aura pumped up. How are you building your CM core skill-wise?
I would do like 202. It all depends on how confident you are CSing in the lane, because she has a really slow projectile and a really kind of iffy like right click damage. Even with, I think I saw the Sumail mid build was a circlet double mantle of intelligence and a fairy fire.
Yeah.
Which is that's like 10 extra damage, I think, between all of that. And that still is only enough to give you 58. So it's pretty tough. But it kind of follows the same thought as the support maiden, is when you get the Crystal Nova and you use that to CS the first range creep, along with harassing the other mid laner. And someone like Sumail is really good, can, get a ton of CS and just keep ferrying out mangoes, and only has to keep 1 point in the aura. You can put more points into the other skills. But I kind of liked either 112 or 202. All kind of just depends. Frostbite's kind of cool. It's got the Pugna decrep effect type of thing, where someone goes in for a CS, you frostbite them, and then they can't get the CS. Like they're just disarmed, and you can pep them a couple times. It's pretty solid damage. Level 150.
The attack animation change that we mentioned last time definitely helps the mid CM last hit. I feel like it used to be really difficult to get last hits with that old animation where it took her just fucking lifetime to wind up and then throw.
The projectile's still pretty slow.
The projectile's a bit slow, but yeah.
But it's doable.
It is a bit better now.
You mentioned that Sumail started with the double mantle circlet, or the double circlet mantle, whatever it was. Does that mean, is he still going braces? Are you still going braces when you start like that? Yeah, because it would seem quite slot prohibitive.
Yeah, I like bracers on support, but null talismans on core. Because you get the magic amp, and it's just good with... It is nice intelligence. I mean, it's really good for the mana pool since it is so small on Crystal Maiden, and every little bit helps in terms of magic amp.
As the mid, you are more that initiator role rather than that support getting jumped on role. So to me, that's why the bracer pickup on the support is much more... That makes sense because you're this target. Yeah,
you're trying to...
The mid is like, let's get him a blink or something, or let her rotate to the side lanes and get stuff done, and that's where the nulls come into value rather than the HP. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and when you're a support, you're just trying to survive to maybe get a second round of spells off.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're the core, you're the one setting the tone with your spells, and hopefully the other underfarmed and underleveled relative to you people you're going on are running away from you. They're the ones trying to survive. That's the way that you'd want to have it, and so Null fits better with that, like you say.
Because CM's spells, the cool thing about her as mid is that her spells are on cooldown all the time. 8 seconds cooldown, Crystal Nova level 4. Frostbite at level 4 is a 6-second cooldown, so they go down in 1 second instruments. That's low cooldown spells. You can get a lot of them off. If you think about other mid heroes, they do not have spells with that low cooldown, so you can really pace and tempo and get work done if you've got levels from the mid lane, and then you're making rotations happen, making fights happen.
Yeah, it's like Lina is about the only one that can spam spells at the same rate.
Yeah, even that.
Even then, you don't have the mana.
Yeah.
To have two damaging spells with one having a kind of a pseudo lockdown that you can cast that often. She's pretty much alone. Crystal Maiden is.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, what is nice as well is that often with mids, the spell kits where they get their damage from will just be kind of pure spell damage. If you think, say, the Lina Dragon Slave, the Q, it's just a pure damage spell. The Queen of Pain E, the Scream of Pain, whatever, pure damage. Diabolic Edict, pure damage. With CM spells, it's nice because both Crystal Nova and Frostbite both add, setup utility, synergy with slow/lockdown. So as well as providing damage, they can always synergize with allies in terms of helping you make kills happen, which makes her like a fun, helpful, interesting mid-hero.
Yeah, it's utility as well as just damage.
Yeah.
It's nice. I don't know the difference between Battle Maiden and Core Maiden, so I suppose you can answer for either, but what kind of items are you building towards? Are you building early in the game? Are you making the decision about whether you're going right-click or alt? Is that just, and once you've made that decision, are your items basically just set in stone? You know, you're going to be going Aghs, Blink, BKB kind of route if you're going alt, or you're going to be going sort of Maelstrom, maybe Deso route. Are you deciding that early and then just sort of, is it standard once you've made that decision? Or
I would like to say that I don't think this alt-focused path is ever optimal. I don't think you should ever play a game of CM seriously and go, I'm playing CM looking to hit a power spike of level 20 talent, freezing field damage. I think her ult is too long a cooldown, too unreliable, too easy to kind of cancel, avoid, to make that her one and only.
How if you have a BKB?
It's really. I think that freezing field is too unreliable to have your whole game fixated around.
Well, what is it at level 18? Like 60-second cooldown?
It's a 90-second cooldown.
90 second?
Yeah, okay, you might have a BKB, but how you've then got to blink, frostbite, and then ult one target and assume there's no item or spell save on the other team. And I think it's just too much eggs in one basket to be like, okay, I'm going to get Aghs and go freezing field, etc. I don't think the battle-maiden mid-CM should be played with Aghs as your core item. I really, really don't think that should be the case.
But to be fair, it's not as though a right-click maiden is that much harder to deal with. You've still got huge glaring problems. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Like, CM mid is bad. Like, it's not a good hero to pick mid, really.
Yeah.
There's better options always. Like, if you're doing a right-click maiden, you may as well just be doing,
I think
any other. There's a lot of better options.
Yeah, I think the right-click build is... I think the middle ground is better than both. I don't think you should go, I'm going to build maiden and get some Dezo first item with the expectation of getting level 20 attack speed talent and go right-click build. I really do think that if you want to play the mid seriously, that you want to have a balance of, in that early mid game, focus on your spellcasting, and then you hit 20, you've got your GPM talent, you've got your
pivot.
Then pivot, and then you've got license to get a Maelstrom, and you've got, okay, feel free to go a bit more memey attack speed, but like you say, pivot, balance it between the two. I think Kaya, amazing item. Even things like Blink, get your positioning perfect in that early mid game when you're the one making tempo happen, like position for the ganks, making kills, initiations happen. Blink can be useful with your ult, etc. Be a mid-tempo player, and then level 20 kicks in, and okay, go get your items that right-click.
Yeah, I think you build utility. You just more farm support that early. So like Sumail's game, he laned against the Alk. This was an older game, back when Alk was still good. And he just got like a 12-minute Spirit Vessel. I was like, okay, that Alk is shut down now for a really long time. Like that type of stuff. That's what I've liked about playing Crystal Maiden for mid and like looking at pros play some games. Is that it's kind of just challenged the set item builds that all like Crystal Maidens go. Just like, I always get a Glimmer Cape, or I always try and get a Force Staff or a Blink. It's like you can do a lot. You can build a lot of different stuff on her, even from a 5, and have it still be, valid and useful. Like I've been going like Solar Crest, and that's not necessarily like for right click. That just makes you giga tanky, and then also it's still like one of the best actives in the game, especially when you can root someone in place.
Wait, did you say Solar Crest or Atos?
Yeah, Solar Crest.
What's it to do with the root?
Well, you just can root someone in place and Solar Crest them.
So that then your team can nail them.
Yeah. Or it's just something to always put onto your carry.
It's a nice carry buff.
Yeah, especially like with, it's great against Void. It's great with Void. There's all these carries that want to have just this huge amount of attack speed placed on them, and it makes you really tanky. Like, I saw a game where Owie was playing 5 Crystal Maiden, and he had phase boots, 2 bracers, and a Solar Crest. Like, that was his first item as of course he's Owie 2000, so, he plays the opposite side of the map and pushes out waves. That's like what he did for EG and stuff. But, if you get like the 250 HP talent at 10, and you have 2 bracers and phase boots with just a medallion, not even Solar Crest, you have 1430 HP and you have 13 armor. That's like Agi carry stats, if not better.
Yeah,
at level 10, like no one can. You can tank through like a Chrono. You can tank through all sorts of stuff with those type of stats.
Yeah, I like it. When we say build utility as a sort of middle ground between hard committing to either the alt build or the right click build and finding somewhere in the middle. When you're building utility, you really can just, like what Adam's saying, if you can go for something like a Solar Crest, which you think, wow, that doesn't really fit with CM, but or a Spirit Vessel in the same vein, that's such a great freedom to just build whatever item you think best fits the game. It's always nice when a hero can do that, and I guess based on what Adam's just been saying, it seems like Crystal Maiden, when you're playing the utility, which is probably the best way to do it, that's a big plus. You can just objectively look at the game and see which item's best, because you're like has been said, you're a farmed support.
Yeah, you have the gold potential to actually invest in those items that could be value. What I would say is there's no way I'm building Solar Crest. Absolutely no way. I'm never building Solar Crest.
I think you're
getting a dig on
underselling how good it is. It's so good. You haven't had someone try and go on you, and you just you tank all the stun, and then you just turn around and kill them from as a 5. Like no one, especially if you get Solar Crest.
Do you know the exact gold cost of Solar Crest?
What, like 30
to the penny,
850 or something?
It's like 4,000 or something. No,
you're both close,
over that.
But not to the penny.
It's like 4,000.
It's less than 4,000.
I don't know to the penny. Is it?
Yeah.
Even with the ulti orb and the medallion, I suppose. I don't know how much it is.
3,975.
Oh, so close.
Nice. But that's a lot of gold on a mid CM to get a Solar Crest 4K. I'm like, you could have a Dagger Kaya. Dagger Kaya gets stuff done.
I think Kaya's trash.
Maybe Dagger Force. Maybe I don't know. Kaya, these mid heroes that cast a lot of spells, they do get a lot of value from that. Kaya, the damage, the cooldown, mana cost, stats.
Yeah, but you can also just have a casual medallion. You don't have to get the Solar Crest right away. You can get like a medallion and then a blink BKB or something like that.
Mate, we're not made of money here. Come on.
As a
4K on sorry, medallion, not Solar Crest. Medallion, maybe casual. A casual medallion, I think is cool.
That gives you Roche potential. That's especially cool from a support perspective.
I don't like it on the mid though.
Or, but you're not the mid. You're just the support laning mid and taking mid farm. Smiley face.
Smiley face.
That's what's going on.
I've built Rod of Atos on her before. It makes you really tanky.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think Atos is sick with her.
I built Lotus Orb on her. Like, that's more armor. Because you think the other thing is with Solar Crest and Lotus Orb, that's a lot of armor, and then you ult and it gives you 20 more armor.
Yeah, it's overkill though.
It's over 70% magic or physical resist. Like, no one can kill you during your
ult. But no one's trying to kill you anyway, even without the items, because everyone knows how strong the ult on its own 20 armor is. That's how I would view it.
Marco's like, in his item checklist, it's like, does this item allow me to get closer to enemy heroes? Yes or no? That's basically it. 4-staff, yes, good item. Atos, yes, good item. Blink, yes, good item. So
that's
why nah.
I like the ult build,
Lotus, no.
And I like the Blink BKB because you force them to deal with you.
I
blink
think
in the middle of the
too many eggs in one basket. That's what I'd say.
But you're playing a mid CM, so you do kind of need to put your eggs in a basket, because if you're sort of playing a middling, at some point it's going to be found out that you're just playing a mid CM. It's like a lot of these unusual mids, like say a Lion mid or something. You do have to be a bit gimmicky. So yes, it's not going to work in every game.
That gimmick. Lion mid will get a blink and a couple of nulls, maybe power treads, and he'll be active and mobile. But he's fixated on a blink, really.
Lion mid is the ultimate gimmick.
I feel like I've never lost with
more than CM. CM's got more utility. Lion mid is just ult. When your ult's on cooldown, you're not.
Yeah, he hunts for that Aghs gimmick build. Yeah. But I feel like he would still get a bit of build up through the likes of a blink and then Aghs.
Yeah, that definitely helps for sure to do stuff when your blinks. Your ult's on cooldown. Sorry.
I would just say from a support or just from a perspective of any hero, especially as a support, always be thinking and challenging yourself to think of items that you could buy that might necessarily not be the standard thing, because something might be better. You don't always have to go Glimmer Force Staff on Crystal Maiden. Sometimes maybe you go Vlad's or Drum of Endurance or Pipe or something.
I like it. I second that motion.
Yeah, maybe not Holy Locket, but
I think it makes you a better player when you actively use your brain to think, actually, this is a great Solar Crest game. And then when you're wrong, you've grown as a player.
Yeah, like I played 5 Maiden and I built a Heaven's Halberd, and I was like, this was really cool, but it was not a great choice.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring a story about you doing this sick halberd pickup. Like, this is the ultimate game.
It was sick, but then
you actually used to
OD like pressed BKB, and then 10 seconds later I'm dead.
Undispellable Heaven's Halberd.
Why are you getting caught?
Just didn't cast your item fast enough.
Lazy positioning and didn't cast items.
He blinks in, sir.
This is questionable.
Yeah.
You blink out again when you see him blink in.
Yeah, where's your refresher blink?
As a 5?
Yeah, man.
That was
You got a halberd, so you clearly not have no money.
That was my
problems
first
here.
item, was phase boots, bracer, halberd. And I was like, I'm so tanky, he's going to miss me, and I'll disarm him, and my team will follow up. It turns out my team didn't do anything.
RNG evasion.
Bracer against OD, doesn't realise OD does pure. Game losing that.
What do you mean that's...
Why are you thinking
what's
gold
good against pure?
Get pure HP, vitality boost.
Yeah, pure HP is good against pure damage, sir.
Right, rush vitality booster against OD.
That's
That's what Adam's just said. Use your brain to think about what item might be good. The first item, vitality rush on CM.
You got 2 hands, get 2 vitality boosters. What are you doing?
Vitality booster might be good.
Yeah.
How much health does that give? 250?
I think 250.
That's nothing then. 2 bracers gives you 240 for the same amount of gold, plus extra magic resist and
but you didn't think about the pivot into an abyssal blade, so.
Yeah, I would love to waddle in as a CM in abyssal from range. I'm like Bulldog.
Well, to be fair, Spirit Vessel.
I get the level 20
Tiger
attack speed talent and then just bash from range like he does with his sniper.
One item I was going to mention that we haven't is Aether Lens. I think on CM this item does work.
I used to be on that a long time ago.
Right. Even on the mid, I feel like it's really nice for the stats, regen, but then extra initiation, extra positioning.
You are frostbiting from like an absurd range.
Yeah, you're off the screen.
But it's one of those things, like she already has the talent, and then I don't know. I mean,
then
it
comes into the items as well.
Good flat mana pool.
Very good flat mana. But then you get Blink and Atos's maybe. Oh god, I really like Aetherlens. I love casting spells from afar.
You'd love Aetherlens in general. It's like one of your favourite items.
Yeah, it feels so good. Because to me, one of the biggest strengths is not the fact that you can cast spells from so far away. It's that 99% of the player base do not understand how far away you can cast spells. So a prime example is, say you're a Lina, or just any hero, a good player will have a good understanding of the cast range of enemy hero spells, but they won't process the Aether Lens, so then you can catch people out so much because they don't expect you to be able to cast from that far away. It's honestly... It's so hard to process, and so you can just take advantage of that so much.
There are some heroes where it's such a broken spell. It's like the classic Shadow Shaman with Talent and Aether Lens. It's like, I'm actually being shackled from the enemy fountain.
Yeah,
like I'm taking Roche. Like, it's so silly. So yeah, I guess you can get some of that action with Crystal Maiden, with Frostbite particularly. Do we have anything else we want to say about the core CM? I guess the only thing I can particularly think of is, what things would you be looking out for in terms of enemy picks or picks on your team that would indicate that it's going to be potentially a good core CM game or a bad core CM game? Are there any heroes in particular that you're either licking your lips or you turning away from CM?
I feel like what I would grimace most at is if there was really tanky, fat strength heroes that appear on the enemy team, like a Bristleback or a Centaur or a Kunkar, is really high HP heroes, because as to me, this battle maiden, mid maiden, relying on your spells really for the first 20-25 minutes, when you're up against really high HP heroes, you yourself can't get the final work done because your damage is just not enough to kill someone. You need to lock down, get right clicks to bring someone down. So I would be a bit reluctant if there was really beefy heroes on the enemy team.
The hero that I'm saddest to see in a game is Crystal Maiden, regardless of whether I'm core or support, is Clockwork. I hate Clockwork with a passion as a Crystal Maiden.
I don't like that hero either.
You're never going to get an ult off, and he can just walk at you and press Q, and then you're just dead. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I liked Crystal Maiden mid. I liked it against Meepo. That felt really cool. PL felt really good. Like Lestrak. I played against all those 3 mid. I solo killed them all. It was good.
It's an excellent hero against illusions in general. You know, PL, Naga Siren, Chaos Knight, they're all going to struggle against a CM Meepo, like you said, sort of semi-illusion hero that he is. They're going to struggle against a CM, especially one that's with high levels, you know. saying that's good stuff. I think when I'm thinking about laning mid as CM, I mean, I play mid a lot, but I never play CM mid, so I don't know if I have like a bizarre perspective, but I don't think I'd want to hear like Puck. I would probably feel really bad, or Tiny. I'd feel really bad.
Yeah. You could probably lane against TA, just because Frostbite takes off refraction charges.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But not the bonus damage. Like, you're gonna lose CS.
Yeah,
off of the bonus damage. So
I think someone like Quap and Lena that have long range initiation, I would, not as in long range damage, because obviously CM's quite a weak hero. So even just taking some harass with like a Dragon Slave or Queen of Pain gets a couple of Qs on you, I don't really see what the counterplay is. I know you can throw out Crystal Novas, but it feels like you're just getting out sort of harassed. And I feel like I'd much rather play against, I don't know, like, I don't know about OD. Maybe OD would seem reasonably okay, but I'd probably rather play against some hero like a Zeus or like a Pugner or even like a Tinker would probably be fine.
Not a Viper.
Not Viper. Just because he gets Atos and then your game's over.
Or you just, click a spell on him and then you take just as much damage.
Yeah. He can just out-farm you, Viper. I mean, you can't really threaten him when he's got corrosive skin, and then he'll just go to the jungle and massively out-farm you. I guess it's good against Broodmother, right? Because you must be pretty decent against
one-shot the spiders.
I don't think you one-shot spiders. I think you just die.
So it's not necessarily good against Brood if you can't one-shot the spiders, I guess.
Maybe if you bait him under tower and you press your ult.
That's the play right there.
And Brood's tabbed out of Dota so that all the Broodlings die.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, any final thoughts on our mid-CM, core CM journey before we talk about Willow?
I like her, but Marco is not convinced.
Wait, not convinced by mid-CM or this battle-maiden solo crest CM?
Sounds like neither.
Mate, I'm an advocate of mid-CM.
What items are you building? After this talk, what is your mid-CM build after this discussion? That's what I want to know.
I think so. Last time I played mid-CM, 14-5-21, 37-minute win. 10-minute Aether Lens into Tranks into 4-staff. So Aether Lens for enable spells, Tranks great mobility, then into 4-staff for extra mobility, then actually Kaya Yasha 25 minutes. So just kind of raw beast of magic. Then a Ghost Scepter, which must have been game dependent.
Kai Yasha seems questionable.
Yeah, Kai Yasha's a bit questionable, but I think game was probs a bit easy. So
I reckon, yeah. I mean, it's obviously won. I wonder if it would be more interesting at that point to maybe get like some nice damage item looking towards level 20. Would that be a reasonable time? Damage. Yeah, would that be a reasonable time to pivot into a Maelstrom, or would you maybe want to get one more general utility item that isn't Kai Yasha, like a cheaper one? Say, I don't know, maybe get that Ghost Scepter that you ended up getting later, or I don't know what some other late urn.
It does increase your magic damage though. It does double it from 8% amp. Oh, it's 8 to 12% amp, so 50% increase. You do get a bit more stats, but I know it's another 2k to buff up the Kaya, so it's a bit questionable.
Anyway,
could have been interesting.
I think could have been interesting, yeah.
The Aether and 4-staff, it's just all you need.
Necro book.
So dead.
To an equally memey mid we go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, CM, we said this hero's not a very good mid. It might be a fun one. I feel like Dark Willow is perhaps more fun and also more bad as a mid. I don't know.
At least you can help your side lanes with Aura as CM.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at least you're not just... Yeah, you have that saving grace if you're useless. Not here, though. Mid Willow, this was actually spurred on by us playing a game where I had the privilege of playing Mid Willow, and I had to fend Marco off and force Marco to play... Oh, you originally got an Arc Warden. This is in an all-random game, by the way. We played an all-random. Marco got Arc Warden. I got Willow. So you can imagine the lengths that Marco got to try and make me swap. But I managed to stick it out and get the Willow. And we got a win. You did get a swap.
I got a slaughter.
You did get a Slardar in the end, so you forced the random 5th to play an Arc Warden, which, to be fair, is probably what you want the random 5th to be playing. Yeah. But yeah, Mid Willow. This hero used to be a legit thing when the Aghs first came out, and it was completely broken. They subsequently nerfed the Aghs quite a lot. I believe they also took out a level 20 talent. I don't know how good your guys' memories are, but I have a feeling that there was a level 20 talent that massively buffed Shadow Realm, yeah.
Yeah, 300 Shadow Realm damage.
Yeah, so that talent no longer exists.
No.
And the Aghs is a lot worse, and Mid Willow is therefore a lot worse. But nevertheless, this hero is really good fun, and I think the Aghs is underratedly still amazing. If you can get to the late game with an Aghs Moonshard, you are just destroying heroes in Shadow Realm duration. And obviously you're not invulnerable, but untargetable in Shadow Realm, which is a very unique, bizarre, and extremely powerful tool to just be able to, in most games, be untargetable. And in all games untargetable, and in most games quasi immune, I suppose. Unless they've maybe got a Lena or like some Lesh or something that might try and land a blind stun on you. You're going to be able to just fire away with your Aghs. Marco, Dark Willow is one of your fave heroes. I don't know what your initial... Well, not fave heroes, but...
I do enjoy the hero, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is worth saying about mid Willow or core Willow? Or Willow in general, to that matter?
I mean, Mid Willow, I think, is a pretty hard one to make work, because I think this one is heavily reliant on that Aghs play working out. So say the CM, you've got very powerful damage ultimate, you've got late game right click pivot potential. I think with the Willow, that her kit, I know you've got that the D, her ultimate that does damage, but it's not like a reliable late game pumper like a Frostnode would.
Well,
I feel like
your ult can solo anybody.
It can solo people, but it does, I feel, drop off a bit harder in terms of like mid-late game when things get more chaotic, fights become more like 5v5. I don't think you can just jump in and ult and kill someone, because it doesn't feel as reliable.
Yeah, it's harder to find like their carry alone with nobody around them and get a full like what's Terrorize and what's the other one? Bedlam. Get a full Bedlam off. It's really tough.
I do think late game core Willow, like I said, when you get Aghs and Moonshard, you're stronger than a core CM at the same time.
So it is very dependent on that build of the
or even a Hex.
Yeah, Hex
Bedlam, it kills anybody.
I think Bedlam is it does fall off a lot. Say there's a pipe on the enemy team, like you're not killing anyone. And also I think just in general it's quite hard, like we've been saying, it's difficult to get on top of someone with a Bedlam. You can say Blink Hex Bedlam and cast Cursed Crown, cast Shadow Realm, cast everything. You might get a kill. You might not if there's a 4-star or a pipe or anything like that. But like we said, the Aghs Moonshard, you are just blowing up heroes for fun. One thing I would say, the biggest difference I see between CM and Willow from the mid is just how bad Dark Willow's laning is. It really is just dog. This hero can't lane mid at all. Your spells are so bad laning mid. You have this Cursed Crown spell that's just a joke in the mid lane. I suppose it's not a joke. I suppose in an ideal situation, it just forces the enemy hero to go under their tower for like 2 seconds or something, which is something, I suppose. But I mean,
I feel like it's better than Bramble Maze.
Yeah, Bramble Maze is just, the only reason to ever use Bramble Maze in the mid is to set up it perfectly when someone's stunned for you. Yeah, I suppose Rune, you can put it on the Rune so that if they want to take the power Rune, they have to be brambled, but also just with a rotation, someone fishes, you cast Bramble, so it's perfectly on them. And that's just so, if that's what you've got on a 20-second cooldown, dealing 125 or 150 damage with a 1 to 2 second route, that really is just crappy. All you have is Shadow Realm harass, effectively. So I feel like when you're playing mid Willow, you do just want to max Shadow Realm to blow, because your other spells just seem bad. And that's all you really have in the mid lane is CS in the range creep and harassing the enemy with Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I feel like she's a harder mid because
such a high cooldown as well.
Her damage output is less reliable and more difficult to execute. Bedlam's cooldown is quite nice. It's only 30 seconds, but you have to be on a target to make it work. So you could get a blink, and that helps you get that positioning where you jump on a hero and start slapping them with Bedlam, but you have to have a blink. When you've got, like, you could get a Bramble Maze, but it's... say you're not even using Bedlam, you've only got your Shadow Realm to really deal damage, and again, that's just one spell's worth of damage. Well, she is a very control-centered hero, and that in the mid, you see them do work because they don't need to be working with the team. They can get stuff done on their own, and it feels often a bit too difficult for a Willow to be independent in terms of carrying tempo playing a game because she is so much control orientated.
Yeah, for sure. 120 GPM at level 15 is nice in terms of working towards that Moonshard Aghs where you really come online as a damage dealing carry. Like Marco said, before that point, unless you can get some big Bedlam off, which you should be able to do in a lot of games, you should be able to get Bedlam off. You definitely want to blink, so once you have that blink, obviously it's quite relatively a lot easier to get Bedlam on someone. Or with a Yules, because you can Cursed Crown someone, immediately Yules them. Then when they come down from Yules, their Cursed Crown will basically be up, and then you can use W and Q on them and use Bedlam on them. That's a nice way to get a solo kill as well.
I think one of her weaknesses as a mid in particular is the fact that she has no... Bedlam is semi this, but she has no AoE spell damage. So if you think about any classic mid, they have at least one spell that can do AoE damage. And why that's really good is because you can shove creep fast. A mid, what makes a good mid is tempo. How do you have tempo? You can shove creep fast. You're not sat there for 20 seconds killing creep. 5 seconds and you're moving. You're off the map making a gank happen.
I mean, you farm with Bedlam, farm waves with Bedlam. It's a low enough cooldown. You can do that.
You can, but it's still even a bit slow. If you use Bedlam on a creep wave, it's still not just nuking a creep wave.
Yeah, it's still slow.
It takes a while to kill it, and then you've got to clean up the creep. It's still not even as good as just a Dragon Slave is in terms of nuking a creep wave. So that really, I think, hurts her farm potential, hurts her tempo in the mid potential. Even just neutrals. I mean, it's a bit better against neutrals, but again, just having only an ultimate that can kill neutrals very well just kind of shafts the hero when it's in the mid. So to me, that's one of the biggest aspects that weakens her in the mid. It's still kind of doable in a playful sense. I think you can still just like right click. You've got a nice right click. You get your power treads, your double nulls. You can right click with a decent little bit of force, and you can just shove the creep.
Shadow Realm is good harass in lane.
Shadow Realm's good harass as well. Yeah, it's not diabolical. It's just not as good as a lot of other mid heroes would be.
Such a high cooldown on Shadow Realm. It's like, yeah, it's like even when you have Shadow Realm at level 2, say max damage 180, you can't right click for 5 seconds while you're in it, and also it's on a 26-second cooldown. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so bad, really. So you don't really have a lot of tools in the lane. You basically are just trying to essentially look towards Aghs Moonshard from minute 0, and then just try and use your other spells to control as best you can, and sort of play like a overfarmed support until you get to that Moonshard Aghs sort of stage.
That sounds exactly what Marco was saying. Don't do a CM. Don't.
Yeah. This is why she's not as competent and potent as a mid as CM would be.
What's her base attack time like now? Is it good again? Because it went from being really good, and then they made it really bad.
Did they change that on Dark Willow?
Yeah, when the Aghs
because of the ult.
Super strong.
Yeah, the Aghs abuse. No, sorry, not the ult. The Aghs abuse, yeah.
It went from 1.3 to 1.5.
So it's still okay.
It's still decent.
It's actually quite a nice animation. The attack range is low. You actually don't have that much attack range. You've got to be quite close to creeps to hit them.
Pacey, though.
I think you could pick her against a melee hero and like win the mid.
You can pep a lot of peps.
I don't know if you can win the mid. The melee hero is going to farm.
Like, I don't know. I think you could beat like an Ember or something.
You can pet, man.
Not a tiny, but like an Ember, you could probably kill.
Stan doesn't back himself to win a lane unless he's leaner against.
I don't see how an Ember dies. You can sleight of fish dodge the W, and even if you don't, you've got your Flame Guard absorption and
you can actually
Pet with
Bramble
right
Maze a
clicks.
melee hero though,
Pet.
as opposed to a ranged one.
I can feel a new meta 1v1 mid coming on, Ember versus Willow. I'll be up for that. I'll get the Ember out for that one.
Can we look at Dark Willow's talents and just exclaim how they're just worse versions of Crystal Maiden's talents?
I don't know. Level 10 is nice. Cast range or damage. Right click.
You
It's
get
Willow
cast
build,
range or
man.
health. You get cast
I think-
range or health. You get
Wait,
30
from
less
Willow?
GPM at 15. level
Uh,
20
You get less
talents,
GPM
like-
at 15.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Willow.
yeah.
Crystal Maiden gets 30 more.
120 versus what's CMs?
35. 150.
Wow, 150. That's so funny. I wonder why that is a thing. Why wouldn't they just give them the same? CM's surely as much farming potential as Willow. I wonder why they...
I think it's 5 versus like 4/core. You know what I mean? They give,
I
they
suppose,
give bigger GPM totals, usually the support heroes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the level 20 talent seems pretty trash on Willow.
Yeah.
10 lifesteal versus minus 12 Bramble. It does put the Bramble cooldown at level... Well, it's the same cooldown. It's 20 at all levels, so I guess it goes to 8 at all levels with
8's
that
pretty
talent.
good.
It's quite nice, yeah. Bramble is it's not the worst spell in the world in certain situations. It's good against... Can be quite nice against like illusion heroes, maybe not a PL, but say if you throw it on a CK or like a Naga, then it's probably going to catch like almost all of their illusions. And the damage isn't excellent, obviously. The damage is pretty average. But just purely having them rooted for 2.5 seconds is going to be strong when they can't avoid it.
Crystal Maiden gets 250 attack speed at 20. Dark Willow gets 175 at 25. Feels
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, although if you've got Aghs, that attack speed does go a lot further.
Yeah, it does.
So-
It does.
How does the W... I'm trying to think about how it interacts with damage items. I don't think it does. So it says on the spell max damage 90, 180, 270, 360. Does that mean that a base 260 damage is being added to, I guess, after Dark Willow's damage? So say you built a Daedalus.
Well, yeah, it's bonus
not
magic damage.
Yeah, you can't crit off the bonus magic damage. That's just
No.
that's like the last thing you add on at the end.
Yeah.
So I suppose you do synergize with Daedalus still just purely because of the attack speed, but you don't. There's no extra synergy. It's not synergizing with the max damage of the spell. It's purely just synergizing with the attack speed with the Aghs and being
you probably get
untargetable.
more value from a Maelstrom Mjolnir to get more procs off, rather because the proc would do more damage than the percentage crit damage, I imagine.
Yeah, that's a good point for sure. I'd say for sure Mjolnir must be a good item late game once you've got Aghs.
I honestly think if you're playing this mid Willow, you could Aghs seems too good to miss, but you could also build it with the idea in mind of being a right clicker and having that damage talent. You've got naturally good attack speed. Just like look to go late, kind of, and build your Maelstrom, your Blink, Dragonlance.
I think Kaya is a must build on this hero. It's so good.
It's nice.
It boosts obviously your W, well, boosts all your spells. Literally incredible with Bedlam, obviously, because it's such loads of damage instances. Actually, I suppose it wouldn't make any difference if it was loads of instances on the percentage, but Bedlam and W are both big magic damage spells. And obviously mana cost reduction's kind of nice, kind of a second afterthought. And also the intelligence, they're all good things. And Blink, I'd say, is also core. I'd say Kaya and Blink are the two core items before you can perhaps start looking at Aghs Moonshard. Those are the only two items I would say, need before Aghs Moonshard, although you can throw in a Yules if you want. Marco, you're saying that you can look to be more of a right clicker in general in the game, so maybe you can go Kaya Blink. What, you think you can just get a Maelstrom sort of thing before going Aghs Moonshard, or
maybe
get a Dessa or something?
Maybe not Deso, but maybe you could get the Aghs before the Maelstrom. But I actually feel like you could get the Maelstrom before it and just be a more right-click orientated hero through the entire game. It makes me think of playing Willow in the off lane null phase boost, because of your attack speed, you're actually hitting like 100, near 90 maybe, and you're hitting fast. So from the early game, you can just, it's like an Ench almost, where Ench has got this impetus. She's a right-click menace. It was like that on the Willow, just bully anyone in the lane. You walk to any other lane, and having got successful farm in the off lane, you're just pepping these low HP, low armor heroes. So that makes me feel like you could just go Maelstrom next. It's got better progression, get it faster than Aghs. You don't... I don't know. I can't remember how strong the Aghs is. Maybe the Aghs is just too good that you need to get it first, but then after the Aghs, then get your likes of Maelstrom.
Yeah, I think Aghs by itself is not that overwhelming. It's really the attack speed that unlocks it. Obviously, the 25 talent with the attack speed is huge. Moonshard is huge. So just Aghs by itself is nice, and you do need it because eventually you need Aghs Moonshard, but it's not that crazy, if you know what I mean. My only hesitation with saying, oh, you could potentially try and be a right-click earlier in the game is, if you were going Maelstrom, you'd probably say want Kaya Yasha, just because Yasha would... Your attack speed's so low if you don't have Yasha that it's like, great, I've got this Maelstrom, but I've gone Kaya Blink.
It is quite good already, though.
Boost or something.
Maybe I've not played Willow since the nerf, but I feel like attack speed is decent. And the other reason that I do like Maelstrom as a fairly early pickup is that it does accelerate your farm with just the active proc helping you farm faster.
Yeah, that does.
I do like that component of it.
I don't think you're going phase though. I think you're going Arcanes.
Oh, Arcanes on a core Willow?
Yeah, I think so.
Nah, man.
You're going Kaya Blink.
Treads?
I would say Treads off phase for certain.
Yeah, I suppose Treads actually. Yeah, I was thinking. I don't think you go phase. The armor doesn't. You don't care about armor because you
get more peps with the active of being able to move and chase a bit better than the damage. There's strong argument for a phase if you're going some peppy core Willow.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a bit split.
I like Treads. I could see Treads definitely being an argument for Treads for sure. But anyway, what I was going to say is the fact that if you did go down this, say, I don't know, Treads, Kaya, Yasha, Blink, Maelstrom, it's like you are delaying your Aghs Moonshard a lot, and there would definitely be a point in the game in which your Maelstrom, Kaya, Yasha is starting to feel underwhelming from your mid's perspective because there's not a lot in Willow's kit that really, you're going to be up against a mid that's just going to be stronger than you at that point from the scaling of the hero. And then you're going to be thinking, man, I really need Aghs Moonshard right now. And it's going to be so far away in gold. I just feel like you really need to minimize the amount of time that you're pretty useless. And by pretty useless, I mean the sort of 5 to 10 minutes before you get Aghs Moonshard, where these early utility items like Kaya, Blink, and Yules, if you decide to go down that way, are starting to not give you the same kind of value as they were when you first got them. But you haven't quite got to the next stage in the Willow boss mode of Aghs Moonshard. And so if you go Maelstrom and you go Kaya Yasha, it's like, yes, I can probably be more effective for longer earlier than if I went, say, Blink Kaya, because I can offer right-click damage, which makes my effectiveness last a bit longer in the game. But it just means that the amount of time you're ineffective before you get Aghs Moonshard, that's also a longer amount of time, and I don't know if that is a good trade-off.
No, I think I agree. I would say that either if you were more mid, I would rather go just Kaya Aghs, or if I was more licensed players off lane, right-click a physical damage role, I would just go Maelstrom Aghs and not bother getting that second 2.5 item before the Aghs, and just get that null Treads, Kaya Aghs. I think that would be fine. Maybe I would, because I'm a big fan of Blink, get Kaya, Blink, Aghs. But yeah, I kind of agree that you do want that Aghs not to come too late, and you want to... Because also another thought I had was that, so the Aghs Moonshard timing, super, super strong, but you do want to make sure that timing comes kind of slightly ahead of the enemy team, because all it takes is one... what is it? Ghost Scepter would mean I think saves you because Ghost Scepter means you're invulnerable to right clicks, which is what the Aghs rely on. So an enemy gets a Ghost Scepter and you're just nullified, or they get the Force Staff or the Yules, that one defensive item that makes it a bit more difficult for you to just get 2 free kills. So you do want your timing to always be that little bit ahead.
Yeah. You know, you are quite easily countered, right? Even when you get that timing.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is obviously that Shadow Realm's 14-second cooldown, so you really... you've just got constant uptime on this crazy gimmick. If you can get to the Aghs Moonshard, you're loving... You know, you're going to have a good time because you just blow heroes for fun. So it's probably not worth spending too much time on what you would do after that. But having said that, the world really is your oyster. Once you have reached that, you can reach for something like a Deso, a Nullifier, Bloodthorn, MKB, Mjolnir, like we've been saying, Maelstrom obviously excellent. Those are all going to do so much work for you, basically, to turn you into even more of a monster. Say Nullifier, if you're really coming up against a lot of, say, I don't know, like Forces or Yules or Ghost Scepters. Obviously, if you can get in range for the Nullifier to hit them, as terrible a projectile as it is, then they really do have nothing. That said, you can also go towards something like a Greaves or a Shivers. I suppose those would both be pretty decent. Maybe BKB, I suppose, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe Lincoln's, I suppose. But honestly, a Shivers or a Greaves would probably work, because already just with Aghs Moonshard, you really don't necessarily need like Nullifier, Deso, MKB. Basically, you have a lot of options once you've reached that core item, Aghs Moonshards. I mean, I feel like that pretty much covers Mid-Willow, right? I mean, Hero's a bit weird. I'd say give it a go, perhaps in the comfortable confines of unranked Dota 2.
I like that we just theory crafted that without having played the hero.
I played it once.
I've played Mid-Willow. It's a staple. Kappa.
Yeah, I got it in all random, and I love the fact that me getting a hero in all random is enough for us to talk about it for half an hour on a podcast. So that's the real amazing thing here.
It has got fun heroes. Fun spells. It is a cool kind of hero.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on the game that I played just to run through the items, just to see how incoherent what I've just talked about I actually did. So, yeah, Bottle, Double Null, Arcane Boots, don't flame me, Casual Windlace, Blink, Kaya, Aghs Moonshard. Okay. Then BKB. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got Aghs at 28, which is pretty late, and I got Moonshard at 34, which is late. I know in this game the farm was waning quite a lot, but that's fine on Willow, because in this game I pick up the Aghs Moonshard, and I am the 5th hero in net worth, and then by the end I'm the 2nd hero in net worth, and my damage output once I got Aghs Moonshard, I'll be dealing the most damage in the game, 100%. Because you on a 14-second cooldown, you're literally doing 2k damage, right? Like literally 2,000 damage probably every time you've got it off cooldown. It's truly is absurd. It's a lot of fun if you can get to that, but it might take you a few attempts, because getting there is the hard part for sure. Any closing thoughts in particular, and anything we've discussed? Any shout-outs?
Shout out to all the listeners for listening to us talk about Crystal Maiden for an hour and a half.
Well, you can chuck on another half hour now.
Yeah.
What's Dark Willow's name? That's a hard one. I don't know this.
Mireska.
That's easy. Mireska.
Well, Mireska, so you're wrong and Adam's right. How do you know that?
What, it's Mireska. It's Mireska.
Yeah,
it's
Mireska.
not Mineska.
It's not Min.
It's not Mineski. Mineski Dota 2.
No, it's Mireska. How do you know that? That's weird.
What do you
mean? It says it all the time. Mireska?
Yeah, Mireska.
She
with
says
her
it.
Scottish, or what voice is supposed to be? I don't know.
What's the little wisp called?
Oh, man.
Does it have a... Oh, wow, that's hard knowledge.
That is some hardcore
I just
knowledge,
checked. That's hard. I'm not even sure Crit knows that.
I actually...
Yeah, I looked... I just saw... Yeah. Jex. That's...
Jex. That's it. I was going to say... I can't... Yeah. Where did you find out, by the way?
I read her lore.
Game
Oh, is it on About or something?
What's her last name?
Yeah, I was going to say That's a hard
I have
one.
no idea what her last name is.
Sunbreeze. Mireska Sunbreeze.
Wow.
But she's a Dark Willow. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, not sure about that.